Hi guys, welcome back again. We're going to show you why you need a vacuum oil catch can, and perhaps why some people are saying that perhaps you don't need it and you can get away with just using the one can. Yes, you can use just one can, and we actually promote our system as saying if you want to you can fit just the one, but obviously it's better to have the two. Now if you have one can, what some people are saying is you blank off the PCV circuit on the rocker cover to prevent that circuit from flowing any oil through back into the inlet of the turbocharger. This is a very bad idea. I think perhaps some people aren't really understanding why that circuit's there. Imagine if you have a shower in the morning, in a hot shower, and you've got the windows shut. The windows are going to steam up badly. If you open the window, you don't get the steaming up. It's a similar thing with the engine. Under part throttle condition, idle condition, overrun, cold engine, you're going to find that there's a lot of water within the system. Now if you blank that off, what's actually going to happen is that's going to collect in the rocker cover over a period of time. You'll get sludging within the rocker cover, not very good for the engine at all. There is some oil in that circuit as well, for sure, and you'll see that within the contents of the oil catch can on one of our other videos. There's actually a water oil mix, that horrible grey sludgy system. Now you don't really want all that collecting in your rocker cover, so you don't want to be blanking that off. The way to do it is a proper second circuit with a separate oil catch can. Perhaps one of the reasons that people aren't using this is it's not easy to do. With the boost can, it's a little bit easier in the sense that it can just use more conventional push-on rubber type hose. Doesn't even need to be duty clipped off or anything. On the vacuum circuit it's very different, because on this circuit here there's actually full boost going into the can. Even on the standard circuit it's full boost within the standard pipe work, and there's full vacuum within the can as well. So it's very important that the can has no leaks on it, at both ends of the can and at both ends, one being on the inlet manifold here, which we've got one off the car, and obviously I haven't got one, but there is another connection obviously on the rocker cover. So to do it properly we have to have a system which allows us to use this type of pipe work here. This is a totally rigid nylon hose, 10mm hose, very rigid. It can handle high boost pressures and high vacuums. It's also quite able to change direction, so this is a not too large diameter as well, so it gets rid of all those horrible original equipment rubber hoses which do crack and leak, replaces it with this rather nice nylon hose here. Now you can't just use people might think, oh, I'll just use another one of these cans or something like this, and then we'll just put some rubber hose on it. In practice you can't do that. If you look on the rocker cover, there's no real place on there to put a rubber hose. There's nowhere it can push over put a Jubilee clip on it. That's one of the reasons. Okay, and the other thing is, whatever you do, you've got to have some way of holding it in. Now this brings us to these rather nice fittings here, which yes, we have designed at GTT from scratch, okay, to do the job. They actually clip into the inlet manifold, and exactly the same fitting clips into the rocker cover. So this part here, which I think we've re-greased it, we do a little bit of grease on there. I'm going to show you on the inlet manifold here, but it's the same on the rocker cover, so don't panic if we don't show you that one. So hopefully this will push in here, let's try it, like that. So that's gone in, and then that claw's gone over. So that's clipped in, okay, and it's got no rubber O-ring on it, and it's also got this rather nice claw system here, which we've designed to make these. It's not clipped on, I've been told. No, there you go. That is now. Yeah. Okay. Should have known that. So that's clipped on there now, and that holds it on. These claws here are actually little spring-loaded little feet on them, which go over this little lip here and hold it in there. Exactly the same on the rocker cover. It can be taken off, so don't think it's a one-way street, but that's held in there now. Okay, and this fitting here is actually screwed into this one here. This one's not screwed in tightly, but there, that screws in. We put a spanner on there. We do this bit for you, spanner on there, and screw that fitting in there. Okay, so that's one off the car there. There's the claw there. Yes, there's some little feet taken away there, but that's because on the little step on the rocker cover, there's a little place where it doesn't clear. Okay, so everything's designed with purpose in mind, not for any other application. Nobody else does this. There's one person using a little metal screw holding one claw on, not the same at all. Right, so this brings us on to the pipe work. How does this push in here? You've probably seen these before, but that pushes in there like that. That's screwed in, okay, held in, nice and strong, no leaks, can't blow out, and then press the outer claw, pulls out, okay. So these are pretty standard push-in fittings. They've got good large diameter as well. There's actually a restrictor within the inlet manifold at 4.5 millimeters. So if anyone ever says to you, "Oh, this isn't big enough pipe," it is. There's a 4.5 millimeter restrictor within the inlet manifold. This has got an 8 millimeter bore on it. Okay, so plenty of flow on there. Probably you could get away with smaller, but we want belt and braces. We've used 10 mil OD. So that's that. This then goes from the inlet manifold here right the way back to the rocker cover. Right the way back to the old catch can. So let's do the same experiment on the old catch can here. Push in the old catch can there. Okay, that's it. It's clipped in. Can't come out. Okay, and then you just press the claw on the outside and pulls out. So one goes from the rocker cover to the inlet. That's a fairly short run of hose going there. Okay, and a slightly longer one here, which actually goes from the old catch can, goes right round underneath the air filter system and into the inlet manifold. None of the original rubber hoses are used, so if they're all in bad condition, which they probably are, you don't need to worry about that. You do need to use GTT or possibly some other brand of induction kit. This, because of the mounting of the old catch can itself on the bulkhead, you can't use the original air box. You might be able to mount this somewhere different, but to do it neatly, we would recommend use GTT cold ram induction kit. There's plenty of space then to mount this on the bulkhead. You even get all this rather nicely made mounting cradle here, all in stainless steel, all made in design in UK, nothing from China or anywhere like that. Okay, so that mounts on the bulkhead there. There's a couple of screws, there's a little clip that goes in the bottom, 2 small screw holes at the top there. It's only plastic, so easy to make. That bolts onto the bulkhead. This oil catch can sits then into there like that. Okay, and then there's a nice rubber band here which goes round there. It goes right the way around there and holds into there like that. Okay, so easy to fit, looks the part, does the job. So yeah, you don't want to be blanking off the vacuum circuit. With the vacuum circuit, what you'll find is it's got two main jobs. This applies to the standard PCV. PCV stands for positive crankcase ventilation. So you need to have a system which vents or sucks, if you like, all the water mist from the system. 2 problems you will get if you try blanking it off. One of them is you can get smoking from the turbocharger. Turbos require a little bit of negative pressure within the rocker cover stroke sump to help the oil drain from the turbo. If it doesn't drain freely enough, what you get is a rising of the oil level within the bearing housing of the turbo, and under certain conditions you will get oil smoke. Now this tends to occur, we used to get the old Renault 5 turbos years ago, exactly the same. It tends to occur if you've got the car either in an idle situation, tick over, or if it's on overrun or on a very light throttle. So the vacuum circuit is really the one that's doing, if you, on your little journey to work in the morning when you're stuck in traffic and start up in the morning from cold, that's the one that's doing all the work. The boost one might not even get used for the whole journey unless you're lucky enough to get a little straight to put your foot down. So the vacuum circuit is very important and the only one that's really doing anything when you're under light throttle or engine idle. Now what we're trying to do with this is prevent, as well as prevent the turbo from smoking, which it can do. That's that oily smell you sometimes get that you perhaps can't detect. We see videos, and well, not videos, we see posts and people can't detect where the oil smell's coming from. It's probably coming from the exhaust. The oil's not going into the engine, it's actually going past the turbine housing, from the bearing housing of the turbo straight down the exhaust pot, the hot end of the exhaust. It's not going through the intercooler, it's not going through the engine, it's actually bypassing the whole lot. That's that oily smell you get. We see it on a lot of cars, can be for other reasons as well, but you do need a PCV system in there. The other one is that you'll find with this can here, the vacuum circuit one, and if you check our video you'll see that this is true, it's much more of an oil water mix. Okay, it's that real horrible grey sludge and water. Okay, so we want to get that out. We don't want all that collecting in the rocker cover, get all that grey sludge collecting on your rocker cover, destroying all your camshafts and everything else. So yeah, you will find it's more water comes in this one. You do need to get that out. You'll find with this one it's more of an oil, but don't think this one because it's water you don't need to get it out. You do need to vent that out because that is actually collecting and corroding within the cam cover, particularly camshafts, rocker shafts, that type of thing. That's going to get the brunt of the damage from not venting that out. So Yeah, you do need the 2 oil catch cans ideally. You can just fit the one if you want. We do sell them individually. It's slightly cheaper if you buy the 2 at the same time. This one uses the more conventional type rubber hose because there's no actual vacuum in there. There's actually no boost in there either. This one here has to use this nylon type hose because then it can handle high boost pressures and high vacuum pressures. But not as a good pipe, it has to be a system that allows it to stay in place. It can't pop out, it can't leak. So I think we've covered most of it there. But please, any questions, let us know. We'll try and answer them. There's a lot of information on our website about both cans, but there's always questions that people perhaps we haven't answered yet. So thanks for listening.